Hello everyone. Today we will talk about the last event or ceremony that Scrum team need to perform in a given sprint, and that is retrospective. The term retrospective means looking back. If you look at the term retro music, that means old music. In the similar fashion, retrospective means looking back on the various processes and items that the team has performed in a given sprint. So let's get into the details what team does in a retrospective and how they execute it in practicality. A retrospective has two components. One, what went well? What are the various processes, the items that the team does really well? They want to keep it even in future. And second, what could be improved? These are the items that can be potential bottleneck that the team wanted to improve in the future sprints. And the team perform this by reflecting what they have done in the recent sprint. So a retrospective should always be held at the end of the sprint. One more thing that need to be understood is a review session is to review the product, and a retrospective is to review the processes. Review to review the product, and retrospective for processes. As we have discussed in our last video, review is a demo that the team does in front of stakeholders, business counterpart, product owner to get a feedback on what they have done in a given sprint as a final product. In retrospective, the team discuss what went well in terms of their ways of working and what could be improved. One more important aspect in retrospective that need to be understood is the sole purpose of retrospective is to improve the performance of the team. So if somebody is saying that the testing didn't went well this time, does not mean that the tester as an individual is a bad individual. It means the various test cases, the various test scenarios that are considered, or the timelines that are considered during the end-to-end test are not proper, and that need to be looked at more professionally. So there should be a mutual trust when somebody is giving negative comment, and it also apply with positive comments as well. So if some individual wanted to appreciate the other individual, then it should be taken up with the right spirit. On the practical side, the moderator, it can be a scrum master, need to understand three things. Number one, it should happen in a closed environment, which means people should feel safe when they are pointing out something, when they are suggesting an area of improvement. For example, if the product owner didn't work well, the developers should have this capability and a trusted environment that they can point out that more refinements are needed in requirements in future. Number two, if there are conflicts during the retrospective, it is the duty of Scrum Master to resolve it. And number three, make sure when you have a retrospective item, it need to be followed up in the subsequent sprints. Many a times I have personally seen retrospectives are performed just as a checkbox item, and when it happens as a checkbox item, people lose interest. So if you have an identified item, try to bring it in your future sprints so that the team sees a value in this event and also see continuous improvement in terms of processes. So these three practical aspects, Scrum Master or a moderator need to remember. Number one, closed environment. Number two, resolving conflicts. And number three, taking up the retrospective items as part of future sprints. One more aspect that need to be remembered from the point of view of certification is the time boxing. Scrum Guide suggests a retrospective should be maximum of 3 hours for a 1 month sprint. So in short, retrospectives are designed so that the team can relook at what they have done in a given sprint. They can also look at what went well and what could be improved. There should be a trusted environment, safe environment, so that people can voice out the points. Three things need to be remembered by the moderator. Number one, a closed environment. Number two, conflict resolution. And number three, considering this as a sacrosanct activity so that its item need to be considered in the future sprint. And the last but not the least, it should be 3 hours or less. That's in short is retrospective all about. Now we have completed all our Scrum ceremonies. It's time to move on to the next section. I see you next time. Thank you very much.